For the latest film interviews, reviews, and everything making news in pop culture, subscribe to Film Companion now.
बेरी पिया बड़ा बेदर्दी इश्क ये इश्क हाँ है बैठे बिठाए जन्नत दिखाए हाँ ओ रामा कलंक नहीं इश्क है काजल पिया सुन रहा है ना तू रो रही हूँ मैं आओ सजन अंगना मोरे आओ सजन अंगना मोरे
Hi Shreya, welcome finally to Film Companion. It's been hard to track you down.
Oh God. Thank you firstly for having me on the show. And yeah, देर आए but दुरुस्त आए. अब आ गए. अब आपके हैं पूरी तरह से.
Absolutely. I love hearing that. And I feel like we should just start with a song just to set the mood for a fun chat. I know you need absolutely no introduction, but Shreya, just for someone who isn't familiar with your music, what is the one song you'd sing where you know ki they can place you?
Oh God. That's so many songs. Where to start? Well, my introduction in the industry has through Devdas. So Berry Pia would be my क्या बोलते हैं उसको visiting card. Like here I am Shreya Ghoshal singer Berry Pia. ऐसा है. Berry Pia बड़ा बेदर्दी हो बैरी पिया बड़ा रे बेदर्दी दिल का दर्द न जाने सौदाई हर जाए जुल्मी राम दुहाई कैसे कहूँ कासे कहूँ हराम दिल का दर्द न जाने न जाने न जाने न जाने 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 हाय इश्क
Oh, like I said, we're finally getting you on the channel. I say that because I know what the life of an in demand playback singer is with the gigs around the world literally all the time. What has 2020 and lockdown been like for you? Did it drive you completely nuts?
It was initially Sneha, the lockdown was like wow chutti, you know how that feeling hoti thi when we used to go to school and suddenly there's like okay tomorrow there's no school, so that sudden announcement of a vacation, that's how it felt like. So yeah, the first few months pretty much enjoying being at home, enjoying doing nothing, waking up late, sleeping whenever, watching so much TV, then cooking. Yeah, of course, there were some other struggles of life which we never had to do before, like cleaning, cooking, everything. But uske baad, after a point, it became, it's a drag now. I am dying to get out. I'm dying to go back to the studio. And when little bit of work started happening, I set up a home studio, so I was working from home. But that's how pretty much lockdown was. In my case, it was a blessing in disguise. But now that blessing has been stretched too long.
But that's also kind of how I'm guessing Angana Morey was born as well, right? Because you're lyricist, you're composer, you're singer. Tell me a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, it's exactly that whole feeling very purposeless and uninspired. And suddenly, I was feeling like, what do I do? I must make the most of this time. I was listening to a lot of good music. That's what happened in actually the lockdown. I went back to my areas, my discipline, which was completely missing in my life. So while I was doing all of that, there was a sudden urge from within, feeling like, why have I not been able to do that kind of music that I really want to? Because I'm always dependent on what film, what is the story, what is the script like, and then that kind of a music will happen. Upar se agar wo film is male centric, so then forget it. Like, it has to be a female centric film to have a great female song. So then from there I started thinking I want to do something which has a little bit of the classical roots, but I want to do it in a fashion that I would like to listen to it myself. This was such a joyful, overwhelming process. I want to do more of this now. This whole process of creation was lovely.
Oh, how exciting. I want you to talk a little bit about also the freedom of not being bound by a label. What does that do for a singer, really?
See, music labels in our immediate life and for all these years has been basically to support the film music that is coming out. It's it's been always like that. Of course, nowadays they are also getting into the independent, which is not related, non-film, if we have to call it non-film music. But then it's still directed and completely based on numbers and what is your uh, relation with the artist. Are you tied, are you signed with the label? There are so many things, and I have been very wary about all of these things. I've always stayed away. So I think that the way I enjoy my life is when I'm working through films. There is a music label anyway attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I want to do something which is not driven by stats, analytics, who is going to listen, what kind of music, kya chalega, kya nahi, I think I am beyond that stage now. I really want to do that kind of music that gives me happiness. And I feel my immediate fans also are uh, waiting to hear my voice, not just my voice, but my mental voice, what I want to do. So that's what independent music is doing for me, in my case. Not for everyone, I won't say, but in my case, indie is this.
No, but like you said, when you reach a place in your career, like you obviously have, where you get to decide which songs you want to sing and you're going to sing, what becomes the deciding factor then for you, Shreya, when a song is offered to you? What makes you choose whether it's a yes or a no?
Sneha, I've been very fortunate that most of the times, probably 99.99% of the time, the songs that come to me are yes worthy only. That's why they come to me with a very, solid story behind. And I'm very fortunate. Composers have always composed songs keeping my voice in their minds and tailoring it around it. Um, but yeah, of course, I have had to say no to a lot of things because I feel sometimes there's just right now too much content, too many songs, too many different mediums, not just films. There's OTT, there's web series, there's regional cinema. From in my case, I do a lot of regional work also,
Yeah.
uh, and then indie is also now in blooming. So how do I choose? So I really literally choose based on, I just get to hear the song once and I go by my instinct and my gut feeling that if it's a good song, it suits my, at that moment, what do I feel like? Do I feel like doing a song of that nature, genre? I pick it up.
Shreya, you talked about so much content that, people are just confused as to what to consume. And I really want to get your thoughts then in on this. What do you think is the shelf life of a Bollywood singer?
It is very different from the time when I came. I entered the industry in 2000, year 2000. My first, like Berry Pia, as I just sang that released in 2002. So that was a very different time. There were no smartphones. Just, think about it. Smartphones is a very
I
new
can't.
thing. You know, we never had, we started with those simple phones and we didn't have apps. We still used to listen to music from CDs and cassettes. At the most, MP3 piracy was very high that time. There was no YouTube. So I think I came at a time when genuinely a song or a voice had to go through a lot of process of getting out to the public. It was not so easy to reach the audiences. So of course, so there was a lot of filtration process. You have to be really good to get to be on the mic in a studio and be singing for a big thing, big budget, whatever film. But now the things are so different that it has basically that whole it has democratized,
Mm.
if I don't know what's the right word, it has just made it very accessible to anyone. In a way it's good, but at the same time it is very unfiltered, so there's good, bad, mediocre, average, outstanding, all in the same basket. So how does an audience choose what they want to listen to? And they are bombarded with content. And it is and it's also so delusional right now that you see like a very random kind of a melody or a song is touching 300 million views, 500 million views, but the backstory is that the person has a backing funding of money, pushing on, on all kinds of promotional tools to get likes and views, and it is possible to do it. So the whole idea कि गाना अच्छा किस बेसिस पे है, वो पूरा ही मतलब the audience is fully lost. So I don't know what's the shelf. I don't know how a new age sincere musician can have a shelf life. All I can request is uh, just keep doing good music. Believe in yourself. Don't let go and don't get carried away by the whole chaos that's surrounding you in the ecosystem right now. Because somehow genuine music touches the heart and it gets appreciated no matter what, however much so somebody's pushing home कितना किसको promote कर रहे हैं. So my idea of shelf life is this: always stick to your roots and to your true self and be a good artist. Everything else will follow.
I really think you are the truest example of that.
I
On that
don't know.
note, it's time to ask you to sing again. This time I'm going to ask you to take us back to a song that you feel, maybe it wasn't this for the rest of the world, but a song you feel really changed your life in a way.
There have been many such instances. So Devdas happened, Jadoo hai nasha hai. That kind of, I think 2003 and Jadoo hai nasha hai released, and nobody could sense that that girl who sang Dola Re or a Berry Pia, very Indian mainstream kind of a voice, is singing Jadoo Hai, which is very sensuous, and it was a very bold film also.
Yeah.
Uh, so that kind of was another big step, I would say. It opened a whole new world of different kind of music to me. Then ये इश्क हाय बैठे बिठाए जन्नत दिखाए हाँ ओ रामा. So that was a very different side of me. I also did not know what I did in that song, which made me sound so different. uh, sometimes just things happen. You just need an opportunity, a collaborator to create a unique something. And then Barsore happened, and hmm, yeah, Barsore was like a mess. For me, it was a very big thing because I am a big fan of Rahman sir. So any song with Rahman sir kind of is for all music lovers' lives. They want to see a combination for a singer, a combination for with Rahman sir is like a wow. Okay, you've
Like
done
the
it.
Michelin star of song. At the start of this interview, you talked about how you also need a women centric film to really be given a repertoire of songs to, shine in as well as a female playback singer. What are the, unique gender politics of playback singing that has enabled the rise of, say, an Arijit Singh? But within the females, what is it about the playback singing universe that has not enabled that?
Mm, I think it's not just the industry or the playback industry. I feel it's just how the country works. It's still very male driven. I mean, a voice. If it's a hero, if he speaks of certain things, it's taken in a different light. But if a female icon is speaking, it'll be always somehow seen in a certain color, or there is a bias, or there are certain prejudices attached to that. Although I've never really felt this kind of a discrimination myself, but
Okay.
I do see a rather right now I see there's a little decline on the number of female songs. It is actually, it was not like that earlier, and I've been very fortunate that there have been some like Bajirao Mastani, Diwani Mastani,
Yeah.
or Ghumar, or Ghar More Pardesi and Kalang. These are very strong female songs. Uh, so I can't really crib too much about it. But having said that, I would say sometimes I'm watching a film. Maybe there's a female protagonist, उसकी story है, but the montage पे जो गाना चल रहा है in the background, it's a male song. It just breaks my heart. That was a great opportunity missed. Why did you have to go in that direction? You could have easily used a female voice. But I think somehow uh, there is some kind of subconscious choice which a creator or a producer or anyone is.
Which you feel stems from just the society that we live in, even.
That's what I feel. It's a very inherent feeling or a way of making decisions in life. But I think it should change. And there are just right now, I feel there are just girl bosses, lady bosses all over the place. Is the time for the females, but it has to somehow translate in our films and our stories and our music as well. It'll happen slowly.
Shreya, not to really poke flaws at all, but if there's one thing that you feel changes or you could change about the music industry, what would it be?
At this moment, a lot of things.
Yeah.
There would be so many things at this moment. Firstly, having some trust in the creators. I feel the trust factor from um, firstly, I actually miss the time when I'm talking about film music right now because I have done most of my body of my work is from there. I wish there was a single composer for a film. Firstly, one composer is composing the whole theme or the soundscape of a film, like how I have seen
Yeah.
the biggest albums being made. So there's a continuity of thought. There is some kind of semblance to the idea of being attached to a script,
A thread
having
that binds it together.
everything. It's so essential. I feel I miss it. It's very discordant right now. Mm, I wish that comes back. And having a good voice casting is also important when it comes to films. Uh, Again, very big thing which I want to hopefully the audiences also understand that views is not everything, you know. And if that parameter can be taken off, because I feel that it's just throwing off people's judgment a lot of people who really do not understand कि ये गाना इतना लोगों ने सुना इतना पसंद किया but सच तो ये नहीं है ना. It's like a lot of fake pushing has happened behind a song which makes you feel that it's a very loved song. But remember, tomorrow if we in 2-3 weeks you will forget that song. That's what is happening. So there's no longevity. Genuine longevity is getting lost. So that whole parameter should just disappear. That's a wishful thinking, but it won't happen, I know.
But you spoke of longevity, and that makes me want to ask you, what would be your top 5 albums over the last 5 years? I'd ask you, because I'll be honest, I find it very hard for something to have a lasting impact on me, especially in the recent past. But of course, like you said, good music does find its way. What would be your 5 albums?
See, okay, let me talk about the films from 2010 onwards
Yeah.
because see, it's two different decades and two different zamanas, I feel now.
True.
So if I have to really choose, Ashiki 2 was an album which really did something. It changed the game. Everything stopped.
Yeah.
Everyone fell in love with each and every
I
song.
can sing those songs even now.
Yeah, like सुन रहा है ना तू और तुम ही हो आज भी गाना बजता है and you'll remember it. कितने साल हो गए उसको सोचिए. 7 years. Then in I think Bajirao Mastani would, in my opinion, was a fantastic album. A hardcore Indian, big sounding films music album. And every song has a story and it still feels like a part of the same album. And everything about it, visual to audio, everything. So yeah, another such album. और भी तो है लेकिन अभी मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा. In recent times, I feel Dil Bechara was a really nice album. I really genuinely feel that it was, absolutely perfect. I can hear the whole album in one go and want to repeat it again.
Yeah.
So, you know, ऐसे है अभी और भी है, but it's just like
No,
can't remember.
absolutely.
Oh, Kalank. Yeah, Kalank was a fabulous album. Oh, yes. And from the Kalank title track, what a melody. Wow. And then घर मोरे परदेसिया तबाह हो गए, ये इतना कुछ हो रहा है, कमर्शियल भी है, सेंसिटिव भी है, एंड म्यूजिकली एनरिचिंग भी है. सो ये सब मतलब मैजिक चाहिए एक एल्बम से. आई थिंक देयर विल बी मोर कमिंग सून.
Does it happen for a singer that you hear a song and you're like, wow, I wish I'd got this song? Hota hai? Is that normal?
I used to have it earlier, but then I'm such a, I'm a singer, performer, yes, fine, but I am a hardcore music buff and music lover first. So if I like a song, I always feel that wow, that is a beautiful song, and what a voice, what a expression. I go into that whole fan mode when I like a song. So it's very hard for me to replace that voice and think of me in there. If I genuinely like a song, it's for every reason, how it's been sung, what's the voice. So yeah, it's I'm always torn. So there is a music listener and a singer who's fighting the whole time.
Can you sing a recent song that you went into fan mode for?
अब इसको recent तो नहीं बोलेंगे. Like I was just mentioning that Kalank का
Mm-hmm.
title track, and I wish there was a female. And I should have actually told Pritam that had I known that कि ये गाना हो रहा है, I would have really pushed him saying इसका एक female version जरूर बनाना. So वो गाना मुझे बहुत पसंद आया. Um, but I'll sing it, but I need the lyrics. Like, wait,
Please,
I'll
please.
just find it.
Firstly, just singers and their memory across languages blows my mind. I don't know how you guys do it.
No, I mean, it's just it's something which is part of our lives anyway. Anyway, so this song I genuinely like, and I see Arijit has a beautiful way of expressing his vocal quality is amazing. And that's why the song is what it is. हवाओं में बहेंगे, घटाओं में रहेंगे, तू बरखा मेरी, मैं तेरा बादल पिया, जो तेरे ना हुए तो किसी के ना रहेंगे, दीवानी तू मेरी, मैं तेरा पागल पिया, हजारों में किसी को तकदीर ऐसी मिली है, एक रांझा और हीरे जैसी, न जाने ये जमाना क्यों चाहे रे मिटाना, कलंक नहीं इश्क है काजल पिया.
You're making me wish myself that you had messaged Pritam Da and said,
है ना?
there should
Oh
be.
ho ho. Some songs are just timeless. This will be one of those.
But do you do that? Do you actively reach out to people when you feel like you want to work with them or there's something you can explore there?
I can just do that with people I genuinely like. I won't. If I'm in that zone, like if I'm working on a certain project, if I've heard something, and if I go completely mental, if I've heard that song and I'm crying, I want to do this. That happens only with people I genuinely have worked a lot with, and I have that comfort. Uh, but it's very rare because most of the times still it's a very disconnected process for a singer. We come in very late into the whole play. बाकी सब कुछ हो चुका है, फिर हमारी एंट्री होती है. So only with Sanjay Leela Bhansali, I have been able to sit and hear a lot of when he's creating. I wish that I can be a part more with all the composers, but that doesn't happen. It's not fair.
You know, you said in an interview that despite the rapid changes in the music industry that you've seen over your journey, one thing that you're really proud of is that somehow, whenever you're talking about good music, your name does come up. So, does that mean you've also had to say no to a lot of what you didn't think was good music?
Very few times. I think इक्के दुक्के गाने हैं जो मुझे ना बोलने पड़े हैं because of say the lyrical content or something which I was very uncomfortable singing, something which was very it was objectifying women too much that it felt not sensuous but it was vulgar. So in very few cases I had to drop it.
So that's where you draw. These conversations are important to you as well, because like you said,
Yeah.
people are also listening to your mind's voice through what you put out.
Yeah, now I'm very, very aware of it because I think, you know, when it happened, when it started worrying me, because earlier तो मुझे काफी गानों के lyrics समझ नहीं आते थे, you know, especially there are certain double meaning things, and I've sung it and I then बत्ती चमकती है कि अरे इसका तो कुछ गलत ही मतलब था, you know, ऐसा भी होता है, हुआ भी है. So, in fact, one of the songs which I recorded, and it is one of the biggest hits of my life, uh, after I left the studio, I made the call that I think whatever this antra was not right. We should rework this lyrics, and then actually we went back and recorded another verse of it. So yeah, so the consciousness has happened because I've started seeing that there are children who are singing my songs in front of me, and they're very, you know, they look up to me in certain way. Their parents are seeing their child singing in front of their inspiration, and I feel somehow very embarrassed if they choose to sing a song which is, I feel, inappropriate for especially a girl child, or girl, anyone who I see that I should not be somehow giving them the wrong impression about life and music.
No, absolutely. And that leads me to the end of this chat. You mentioned children singing your song, the legacy that you really have created. I want to ask you, and I want to hear it from you. If a child is discovering the universe of Shreya Ghoshal, lead us to two songs that you feel capture you best and sing them for us while we let you go.
One of the very romantic songs that I have, which most people associate my vocals with, is "Sun Raha Hai Na Tu," and that has been one of the long-lasting classic songs that I cannot ever do a concert without singing that. You know, it's one of those kind of songs. So yeah, मंजिले रुसवा है, खोया है रास्ता, आए ले जाए इतनी सी इल्तिजा, ये मेरी जमानत है, तू मेरी अमानत है, आ अपने करम की करदाई, कर दे इधर भी तो निगाहें, सुन रहा है ना तू, रो रही हूँ मैं, सुन रहा है ना तू, क्यों रो रही हूँ मैं.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Is there one
Thank
more that
you.
you want to change? Like you said, surprise them. You did with Jism so early in your career.
I think I can sing so many songs, but let me sing the new one, because I really want people to associate this song to my one of the finest songs that I've sung, because I honestly feel that. तो ये
Beautiful.
अंगना मोरे जो गाना है, ये मेरे लिए अभी बहुत खास करके इस पीरियड में I feel damn happy, and I feel like okay, this is my new phase. So I will sing that one for you.
Let's hear.
आओ सजन अंगना मोरे, आओ सजन अंगना मोरे, दिन रैन तुम्हारी याद सताए, आओ सजन अंगना मोरे, आओ सजन अंगना मोरे, आओ सजन अंगना मोरे, अंगना मोरे.
Beautiful. Thank you
Thank
so much for chatting with me. Your mind is as beautiful as your voice, and I found out today. Thank you for
thank
being
you.
on Film Companion.
My pleasure. Thank you for this beautiful interview, Sneha. I'll remember it forever.
My pleasure.
Hey, if you all like this video, go like, share, comment, and subscribe Film Companion.